Yal Torido resigns from Unchained. Campaigner Yal Torido has resigned from Unchained, the anti-slavery organization he founded with Princess Aisling Duval. Unchained's press office released this statement. We can confirm that Yal Torido has officially resigned from his position as co-chief executive officer, effective immediately. Princess Duval remains our patron and CEO. We wish Mr. Torido all the best with his future endeavors. Rima Falco, a journalist writing for the Imperial Herald, made these observations. Considering Torido's passionate rhetoric against imperial slavery, it's surprising for him to abandon an organization that he co-founded. The recent assassination attempt against Princess Duval at an Unchained fundraiser may have caused him to regret allying with such a volatile political figure. As yet, there is no comment from Her Imperial Highness. This has led to speculation that there was a falling out between the two. Rumors of romance between them never quite went away, even after the princess's engagement to Jordan Rochester. Is this perhaps a jealous rival storming off in a fit of pique? Representatives from Unchained have said that their campaigning, fundraising and slave liberation programs will continue as normal. Starport status update. This report presents the latest data on starports experiencing technical issues as a result of Thargoid sensor-related interference. The following starports are currently closed: Brady City, Chauville; Serali Port, Setet; Flag Station, 41 New Psilon 4, Eridani; Nagata Port, Setet; North Dock, Amanet; Schmidt Platform, BD, 08642. Tani Hub, Inunikori. Vandriat Woolly Orbital, Jabugali. Vinci Ring, HIP 91085. Young Husband Station, Miku. Meanwhile, the following starports are on the brink of closure.
Hello everybody, Mr. Moo here in the cockpit, here in Elite Dangerous, here in Hyades Sector AQ-Y D81. C2. Approximately, latitude 9.9 by longitude negative 154.29. Maybe. How is everybody? Because, yeah, it's gonna be one of those days. Hope everybody's had a good one up to now, because now I wake up this morning, I check the messages over on the Discord. I say a few bad words. Starport status update. Brink of closure due to Thargoid sensors. Glidden Enterprise. Mother... Anyway. Shoutouts to Dr. Moist. Thank you so much for the follow.
Hey, best buddy.
Oh, it's you.
3 months hype.
Northema, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. 3 months. Damn. Thank you so much for that. Who all is here? We've got Merino Twine, Sanson, Drifting Raven, Grislago, the Bibliophilus, Northema. Let's see, and the Hankbot and the Nightbot. Alright, we're good. So, we're on the brink of closure, and we've got, you know, up until tonight to fix it, because that's when the tick happens, so... Right. Grislago, yes, that was a, that should have been a mega skiff. Though, I thought that was only for... Thought I only had that set up for bits. Wait, yes, I know that one, yes, that was a mega skiff. The Rock On, yes. I've been poking around with my, my bits and whatnot. Sanson, mind if I use you to land at the site before going solo? Oh, you know what, that's a good idea. Yeah, will do. Let me set things up here. Because I was doing a little bit of flipping to get things set up properly. There we go. Yeah, I will be the nav beacon. And yeah, Gross Megas XLR, I love that show so much. Dan Jabba, good afternoon. Okay, Sanson, there you are. There you are, alright. Wing invite, sent. Beacon is deployed. Lights on?
On.
You know, Grislago, I heard some interesting stuff that would have been in Season 3 if the show had continued. One of those things being, would have turned out that Coop was actually the progenitor of the Glorft. Alicor's 07. I know, go to work early and all hell breaks loose. It's not panic time. It's not panic time, it's go time. Ferox, hey! And for those who haven't seen a place like this, this is a sight to behold. Alright. Let's get to work. I know, right, Northema? And thank you everybody that came out, participating, watching, whatever, in the Kill Moo competition the other day. I can see some places where it could use a little bit of work, but all in all, I think it was pretty successful. I mean, I realize it got a little bit repetitive with the, you know, honestly, sometimes the, well, most of the time, the only, look at that. The only option available to me, if I wanted to, you know, not get blown up, was jump in, or, you know, be pulled down, submit, you know, fight for a few seconds until everybody else showed up and then run like hell. But that's what learning is about. Landed and got one straight away. Nice. Oh wait, you're at Darnielle's Progress. Right, they've only got one meta alloy at a time these days. Pretty high demand for this stuff. Yes, don't mess with the floating thingy. Floaty thingy armed, floaty thingy have friends. Aaron Duran, do you need meta alloys to fix the station? Yes. We just got a notification this morning that the station was on the brink of closure. We had zero knowledge of this beforehand. No technical difficulties notification, no nothing. Just suddenly, we're on the brink of closure from Thargoid sensors. Well, crap. So, the Errantry Alliance springs into action with all the reflexes of a well-oiled machine. So what I'm doing now is basically going out to the edge of the area so I can look back in and see if I can spot any more of these things. That one's too small. Though, a quick question, what is being spotted out over in this direction? Oh, outcrop. Well, may as well. Waste not, want not. Yeah, manganese, not bad. Yes, Varad, we got UA bombed. I don't know why or, well, I don't know when it happened. We're never gonna know the why. Ooh, more chromium. Don't mind if I do. Vanadium, always helpful. And sulfur, because why not? Because rock, that's why. Lights.
Okay.
There we go, a little bit brighter. Alcors, which system are you in? I am in Heidi's sector AQ-Y, D81. Now the other one is almost a little over twice the distance, just so you know. Gravity here is 0.31 G. I don't know about the other system. Are the station closures always the result of players UA bombing, or do FDev trigger some randomly? I believe it's always the result of UA bombing. And Firecats, hey, what's up? glad he could make it. The emergency alert system? Arcane XTV, hello! That's a very enthusiastic hi. What's up? And no, nothing here. Firecats, UA bombing is, well, they're known, they're called by Thargoid sensors now, but originally they were called unknown artifacts, so UA. And it turns out they have a corrosive and destructive effect on technology. I mean, you pick up a Thargoid sensor, it starts corroding and degrading your ship. So imagine somebody dropping a bunch of those off into a station, where they're just, you know, they get picked up by the automated cargo system and thrown into the hold, and they start eating away at the station's systems and infrastructure from the inside out. Now, meta-alloys can counter this. Meta-alloys are a way of causing a material to self-repair. The best way I've heard of it described is, take a circuit board, take a video card, snap it in half. Then hold the two halves together and dribble meta-alloy over it. The meta-alloy will actually seek out the metallic connections, the conductive connections, and repair them, and bond the PCB back together. Is there anything I can do as a new player to help? I have a Type 6 with a little bit of space. As a new player, I would suggest, if there's anybody else who wants to wing up, I would suggest running with them. The problem is that meta-alloys are available only in, say, the Pleiades, like I'm at. Now, you can pick them up off the ground here at a Thargoid structure, or pick them up at a Thargoid base. I'm here in a barnacle forest. Or you can pick them up at a station called Darniel's Progress in the Maya system. Maya or Moreau? Maya. Yeah, why would they do that? I'm not sure. But anyway, Arcane, there's a Maya system. Thank you, Alcors. So here you are with a Type 6, you've got meta-alloys, and they are very valuable things. What's the going... I think the going value for these things is north of... it's around 6 digits on the open market. So you've got pirates chasing you down, plus you might have Thargoids chasing you down. And it's a bit of a haul if you don't have the, jump drive for it. So for a new player, it's for somebody, you know, if you don't quite have the experience at running high-risk stuff, I would honestly suggest against, just because it's, you know, dangerous. Sorry, 113 grand to buy it, yes. So this stuff goes, you know, well worth its weight in myrrh on the market. That's not to say you can't help, I'm just saying it's risky. It's very risky. So what I'm looking for on these barnacles, you see these organic structures? Yep. There's little growths on them. I'm looking for the big growths. You can usually spot them from a fair distance. The little growths are good materials, but what I'm looking for are the big ones that have a ton of meta-alloy. Yeah, normally Glidden is repaired with stray bits of cable and gaffer tape. Hey, maybe this will upgrade it. That or it's going to be looking really funny on Galnet News when I mean, can you see the article now? Glidden Enterprise, UA bombed. 5 billion credits worth of improvements done. The only station around that got UA bombed that actually helped the place out. Maybe we can feed all that extra scrap metal and crap to the to the UA. Not seeing any more. Alright, so this is when we flip it. Oh, wait, no, Sanson's still in Super Cruise. So this is where we don't flip it, we wait for Sanson to show up. Tygon Star, did you try No Man's Sky? Not yet, I've got it installed, I just haven't given it a go yet. Other stuff keeps coming up, you know how it goes, trying to clean the house, cat blows up your ship. Seriously, my cat blew up my ship. Mr. Headsworth, missed about 18 minutes. Yeah, nothing major. So, basically, Glidden has been UA bombed. And so we're out collecting meta-alloys to fix it. I'm probably going to give it a go this weekend. I think No Man's Sky Next is pretty good.
This message is irrelevant!
Oh, mighty. Mr. Headsworth, thank you so much for the 18 bits. I need to set an alarm or something. Let's see here. Let's see. Drifting Raven, will UAs affect Rust? We may be safe. Yeah, that's true. And hey, a wild Sanson appears. $31 clicks out and closing. Dan Jabba, how did your cat blow up your ship? Funny story. I was AFK. I was about 13,000 light years out. I was about halfway to the galactic core. I was getting ready for a show because I was going to be doing an exploration stream hunting for Guardian sites. Well, I'm AFK getting the show prepped. You know, just filling up my water bottle, things like that. And Hank jumps up on the keyboard and sets his fluffy butt down on one, the hyperspace charge, or the hyperspace activation switch, and 2, the silent running key. And 3, starts thumping his fluffy-tailed ass on the screenshot button. So I've got I've got an actual collection of pictures of what my cat took as my ship is blowing up. Let me pull up the image real quick here. Oh yes, Hank was a little less fluffy at the time, true. Well, he's still got a little pom-pom on his tail. Look, Hank was... Hank is a Norwegian forest cat. Hank is very, very not tolerant of heat. We had a big heat wave rolling through. We need to give the guy a haircut. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. This is the last picture I got of my ship in one piece, thanks to my cat. The next picture Hank took was the rebuy screen, that little jerk. Alright, Sanson is here, so we're gonna pop out and flip. Al, of course, the 3% isn't the problem. Look at the heat. Well, the 3% and the heat were somewhat related, as you'll see. That's true. He could have selected Sidewinder, and then I would be a very, very unhappy mood. Oh yeah, no problem sensing. Yeah, Texas heat. And his buddy, humidity. It's not heat you gotta worry about, it's humidity, and he's an angry sumbitch.
Hello.
Sniper Man, hey, what's up? '07 Cazador. You know, why does this thing not have a backup camera? Okay. Yeah, this place is enormous, Sanson, but it's, well, I was gonna say it's easier to find stuff, but I seem to be putting the lie to that. Because it makes too much sense? Of course! Farming Dav's Hope was boring until I tried to see how fast I could do it. That's the way to do it. Give yourself a little challenge and have a little bit of fun with it. Also like the Dav's Hope Olympics, where you try to jump from building to building on your SRV. No, 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 no. Better. Then there's these things. Not hostile unless you decide to open fire on them. Then they get a little extra hostile. Hey guys, what you doing?
Hello.
Don't mind me. Hey Jumpy, what's up? Go for the central. There's one. There's one. I can spot it from here. This is what you're looking for.
Cargo scoop deployed.
If you can get there. Come on. Engines. So I got hung up on something there, so just angled and boosted away. And there we go, that's meta alloy. Looks like there may be another one here. That's a little small. I hope you've seen the Discord messages I've done. I've not. Sorry about that. I will take a look, though, as, you know, as soon as we're done saving Narvert. You know, being big damn heroes and all. That's in a crummy position. Varad, wonder if you could do this with the Chief. What, you mean like picking stuff up or meta-alloy mining? You can do it with anything, as long as it's got an SRV. I think picking things up with the Chieftain might make... There's just too much ground clutter to be able to do it. Alicords, you got a question? I've got an answer. Maybe. What influence do we want in Kutnal? We want all the influence. We're going to be expanding from that place multiple times. Oh, thank you very much for that, Jumpy. Alright, let's go. Let's go find the ship. You know, the ship right over there. Did you check out the new generation ship? No, I heard there was a new one. I have not taken a look yet. Last generation ship I heard about was the one that had a, it actually created its own AI. There we go. All right. So wondering if that way you'd have less trips back to the ship. It's a good idea, but I think there's way too much ground clutter. I mean, the SRV is just bouncing around. Commander Evazen, how many meta alloys will you need to fix the station? The problem is we don't know. Meta alloys. One meta alloy can repair the damage done by 10 UAs. The ratio is 1 to 5. Okay, I've heard 1 to 5. Now I've heard 1 to 10. Now I'm hearing 1 to 5. So depending, if somebody drops off, you know, 100 probes, we're gonna need 10 meta alloy. If somebody dropped off 1,000, and you know, there's some groups that could pull that off. I don't know why they would, but they could. There we go. Do at least 100 meta alloys when I'm next on? Well, thank you, Jumpy. I don't know that you need to go to those extremes, but it's greatly appreciated. Actually, let's look over here at the Emporium's messages. Checking here. I'd like to add a special request to aid people who came to us. Those who can, please get meta alloys to Glidden Enterprise, Narvert. This is the home of people I consider allies and good friends to me and us. Contact Mr. Moo for more information. Well, thank you very much for that, Jumpy. Thank you so much for that. Could we be UA bombed by Royal Phoenix? I know that's a long shot, but could it? I mean, yeah, we could be UA bombed by Guardians of Harmony or anybody, really. I mean, I don't see any... If we... I mean, it's possible, but it's unlikely. Then again, I mean, it's possible an asteroid could land on my apartment in the next 10 minutes. Which, if so... Bad for me personally, but I'd be getting some great stream numbers, briefly. I'd probably blame that on Hank, too. Free stuff! No. Let's see here. I've already searched out in this area. You people distracted me in my searchings. Let's see here. I need to go this way because I've already checked out, yeah, the Mega Barnacle over here. Asteroid-proof internet? Maybe wireless. Depends on how good your router is, I guess. Believe me, I don't even have cat-proof ships. And by the way, iMage, hey, how you been? No, no, no. That's better. Hell, we've barely got cat-proof internet. Yuki keeps eating cables, or, well, not eating them, but gnawing gently, repeatedly. So we've taken to rubbing some citrus spray on it and things like that. Oh yeah, Yuki and Hank are very destructive. Braving the heat and the random fires. Old sign transformers left live when the sign was removed. Oh, son of a... Otis Pete Jive Funk, what you breaking today, brother? Oh, I'm fixing stuff that other people broke. Our home station got UA bombed. So right now I'm just kind of... Me and a few others are poking around in the Pleiades cluster, grabbing meta-alloys. And we've, you know, this lovely barnacle forest. Alien life forms, alien mining equipment. Once agreed to look after my friend's rats when she was away and my cables didn't thank me. Oh, Lord. I imagine not. What about you, Otis? What's the good word? And I think that pretty much covers everything here. I made. Should we have it so when the game detects a UA on a ship, it shoots it? I'm not sure. I mean, certainly a step up from smuggling. I mean, if you're smuggling forbidden stuff, they slap a big fine on you. But, you know, I'd be okay with something that destructive. I mean, it would certainly make smuggling that much more interesting if you were going to do it. What the hell? I mean, but Frontier... And I love Frontier. I love Elite. You can't say I don't, but they have a serious problem when it comes to, say, risk versus reward. They don't seem to know the concept very well. So, I mean, high-risk smuggling or high reward... Melting over here on the other coast. This Canuck can't deal with 30 plus C. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't. I couldn't. Oh, yeah, there's a steep learning curve grind, yes, but... I mean, how does this make sense? So, if you have, say... Well, if you're moving passengers, you can make ungodly amounts of money. If you're moving high risk, or not even high risk, I mean, moving gold, moving platinum, moving palladium. I've seen missions that give me, if I got 120 tons of cargo, it'll give me 5 million credits. You know, for making a jump and flying 1,000 light seconds. On the other hand, I've seen wing assassination missions. Missions where you're up against 3, 4, sometimes 5 heavily engineered ships. And you got to take out the lead ship. I mean, this is heavy-duty, high-intensity combat. If you're going to do it solo, you'd better have the equipment for it. The payout on that I've seen top out at 3 million, and that was prior to the last update. Now it's down to around between 1.5 and 2 million usually. Risk versus reward. If something is riskier, something ought to be more profitable. But that principle seems to have escaped FDev. The only setting on Frontier's knob is 12. It's... yeah. Oop. Hello there, giant chunk of stuff I need. Hold still. There you go.
Cargo scoop deployed.
I think I see another one right over here. But I mean, if you're hauling bootleg liquor, if you're hauling narcotics, they'll slap a big old fine on you. And that's fine.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Well, didn't quite get the catch, but I got it on the bounce. So yeah, I mean, if you want to haul... You know, if you really want to haul Thargoid sensors, and I can't believe that black markets are still paying for those. Like, what idiot now hasn't heard of... well, answer my own question there. But there's black markets still going, hey, you got Thargoid stuff? Cool. Huh, why is my station melting and why is my life support turned off? It boggles the mind! So, yeah... The risk, the reward when hauling Thargoid sensors is only for shutting down stations. Well, there should be a, yeah, I think there should be a higher penalty for, you know, a reward like that. Gret, what's up? How goes the trip? And yeah, of course, pretty much how you get your Type 9, just hauling stuff like that. Oh, no problem, Al. Of course, I get you. Yeah, the only place that should want them are the Aegis Research Labs, where they would have me... 1 second. Got to talking too much and didn't hydrate. Excuse me. Firecats, how does one save a station? So, as I'm doing, just kind of bopping around here, picking up, collecting meta-alloys from these organic structures. Argus Wolf, hey, what's the good word? Isarno, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the crew. So let's see here, let me back up here. Let's see here. Yeah, Merino Twine. Only place that should want them are the research labs, and they would have special... They would have special, containment systems that wouldn't melt the damn station down. And, Firecats, to get around to your question, to save a station, do what I'm doing right now, kinda newt around a Thargoid barnacle site like this. Now these little materials, these little growths, they aren't worth as much to me right now. I mean, you blow these up and you get, well, here's some carbon. Now carbon is nice, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for here. And iMage, current issue with the game is... Oh, I got distracted again. So, you drop off these meta-alloys. You drop off these meta-alloys at a station that's affected by these Thargoid sensors, and the materials will actually repair the station themselves. And I mage. Too dark in topics as well as visually. Need bright things to keep my mental health going. I can understand that. There's good things out there. There is. It's not always so evident, but, no, there's... I get you, though. Anyway, these growths, they are immature, I think. I have no proof of this. I just feel like... Excuse me. I feel like when... Because these things have been harvested to the point where the entire site goes dead. And I can't help but think that if you only grab the meta-alloy stuff, the largest pods, you will end up being able to sustain these areas much longer. These sites are planet zits. These sites remind me a lot of Tiberium from Command & Conquer. How it mentions how Tiberium basically leaches elements and nutrients from the soil. Poisons everything around it. Well, that sounds a lot like what, the tech plague that affects... the tech plague that affects stations when you hit it. These barnacles, these big structures could be considered like blossom trees. Just special fuel pumps for the, for Thargoids? That's possible too. Those things, Firecats, are called scavengers. They are like Thargoid skimmers. We don't know if they're biological, mechanical, biomechanical, and what degree of intelligence they have. Are they autonomous? Are they being controlled by a separate, central controller? We got nothing. HS, do you think these sites harvest meta-alloy from the ground, or if they construct meta-alloy from material in the ground? My theory is they construct it from material in the ground. Tygon Star, yes, the ships are biomechanical, but we don't know about these scavengers. Are they purely technological, just with funny building materials, or are they biotech? Not entirely sure on them. Biomechanical worker drones, yes, that's true. But we just aren't sure what... We aren't sure what the degree is, because... Let's see if I can get a closer look on this thing. Well, whatever it is, it's tending to this thing. Alicors, the gravity on the other planet is 0.18 G. Alright, glad to know. But yeah, there you can see its propulsion element, whatever it is. I mean, it's very similar to Thargoid ships. Unless I missed something, it's been proven otherwise. I think the Thargoids are their ship. Again, speculative. We don't entirely show. Or, we don't entirely know. Looks like bird feathers. That's true. Oh, what was it? I've got the Haynes repair manual for a Klingon bird of prey. Yes, I know. And it talks about how they don't have traditional warp nacelles. The feather pattern on the wing is actually what the warp field is generated through. And I'm wondering if there's something to that, like the feather patterning here. Words. Pronunciation. Tough. If the feathered patterns on these scavengers are actually part of their propulsion system, or defensive, or what? Image, do you have the missing page on that bird of prey manual? Missing page? I tore that book apart. Well, figuratively speaking. I may have missed that there was a missing page. So yeah, the meta-alloys are not biological. They are, you know, it's a metal alloy. It's pure inorganic metal. And yet, it is a fundamental building block of Thargoid tech. Thought the warp nacelles on a Burrell were the smaller mini winglets. They're, as far as I know, in the field manual, or in the tech manual, it talks about how those feather patterning, that's what it is. Let's see here, transfer cargo. Gonna be great when we eventually gotta harvest several hundred tons of meta-alloy to construct Thargoid ships. I don't know that we're gonna end up doing that. God, I never want to do that. I'm parked at Darnielle's Progress. I was going to donate 264 meta-alloys, but the available supply is 1. Yeah, that's why I'm out here at this forest, to be honest. I mean, I've got the cash. I could have just gone to Darnielle's Progress. But, unfortunately, that option is off the table. There is no table. The table got flipped, chopped up, and was used for firewood.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Alright, maybe I can go around the other side. Latitude and longitude, not your strong suit. Likewise, it took me a little bit to get here, believe me. Seriously, come on. Oh, would the brandy trick work? Oh, you mean the dupe? I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do the duplication bug because that is a major exploit. Get your asses streamlined for pulling something like that off. Then here's Big Daddy Barnacle, which, yeah, be careful with this thing. This is where Thargoid ships will appear. Right over this thing and attempt to harvest it. Sometimes. Fortunately, I've been, and the kick is good! Been lucky enough to not have a Thargoid ship show up here. Oh, when one person goes out and brings it to the waiting ship? Oh, I gotcha. Is that where you can go inside? No, Merino Twine. That's a different Thargoid site. This is like a gas station. Alright. Screw it. When in doubt, boost yourself out.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
That move was just asking to get yourself impaled on a spike. It really was, but otherwise I was going to be stuck between the rock and the other rock. Program called Edison is great for navigating with coordinates. It was originally called Tesla, but then Edison stole it. .31G, I can't quite fly the SRV as much as I want to, but it's good enough. Oh, that's hilarious, iMage. I love that. Ed, and Edison. So now we're just kind of making our way out around the perimeter. It looks like there may be one off in the distance. I can't quite tell for sure. Anyway, I was getting distracted. Somebody was mentioning a new generation ship. What's the scoop on it? That brings it up to what, 11?
Cargo scoop retracted.
And what nightmares and horrors befell this ship? Because really, looking at the generation ship stories, it's like, happy ending? No. Now, one thing you might be able to do, which might be able to help out, is trying to think about this and wondering how well it would work. If you were operating in wings of 2, scouting these places out like you were, like we do with Guardian sites, you have a fighter able to zip around and rapidly check out all the trees and everything here, and could even blast the barnacles and free up the meta alloy. And then he got somebody on the ground in an SRV just picking it up. Well, that's true, Gret, but, you know, nothing like, oh, you know, the colony failed, you know, too bad for us, running out of power. We don't even find the, what do I want to say, the mundane horrible stuff. We just see, like, the eldritch horror. You know, the cult that took over and the kid that spaced the entire ship. Like, dude. You know, little Chucky needs a little bit of, somebody needed to give him a little bit more discipline when he was young. You know, instead of trying to raise him as unto the embodiment of a god. That messes with a kid. The onboard serial killer who ended up blowing up the ship. That stops being serial, that just turns into parallel. Otis P. Jivefunk, thank you so much for the host. Much appreciated, sir. And I don't think I've been around to this one, but one more time and then we'll flip it again. Yep, nothing here but regular materials. Nope, no cargo. Ah, one more. I want at least one more. It'd be nice to have 20 tons. But Gret, we've seen at least one that did become a successful colony, in spite of having a disaster. The one that you know, the chief engineer discovered there was a massive flaw in the ship's construction, and it wasn't going to be able to stop. You know, there's not as many of those. He stopped. Well, they didn't stop the ship, but he engineered a way to save them all. That's a good story. Alright, I could be... Ha-ha! Oh no. Ha-ha again!
Oh no.
Back to jumping. Good luck, Gret. How far out are you right now? You're just coming into the abyss, aren't you? And for those unfamiliar, Gret, a good mod, a good friend, and a long-standing member of the errantry, has decided to go out to Beagle Point in a federal Corvette, and is actually making pretty good time at it. The Gret Vet. Physiogeny, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the crew. Pull up a seat. Right now, we're just kind of running around. Running around and picking up meta-alloys and trying to rescue our station. Excuse me. Pardon me. Didn't quite get to the microphone cutoff there in time. Evazend, does Royal Phoenix have a station with a black market asking for a friend? Now let's not go doing that. Yet. And Eric G, hello! Glad he can make it. What's up? There we go. Come back around. Low gravity and SRV, an exercise in patience. Doing alright today, just picking up meta-alloys. Mining for Narvert. I think I over-equipped the ship for this, because I don't know that I'm picking up 200 tons of this. But may as well put on what I can. Yesterday was all the excitement of blowing up the boss, and today it's the other side of Elite. Physiogeny, seen a lot of your videos, never caught a stream. You're the first to pronounce my username right. I really do try. I don't always get it right, but... Just watched 3 737s go past on a train. Did you tell them they're doing it wrong? I'm no aerospace engineer or anything, but... Alright, seriously, this place just creeps me the hell out, too. I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds like distant thunder or maybe an earthquake. The sounds of souls. Oh, good. Alex, stand by on the nope drive. Nope factor, hell no. I know, Varad, I'm just being a smartass. But yeah, Boeing's big factory in Kansas. That place has a storied history. Oh, for those who read it, it was either Seattle Pie or Seattle Times did an article on Tex Johnston. And for those unfamiliar with him, he was a test pilot with Boeing back in the 50s. And he performed one of the greatest sales pitches ever. When he flew the 707 prototype, or the plane that would become the 707 prototype, flew it over a boat that had his boss and a bunch of CEOs from different airlines in the country at the time. He flew this thing over the boat and slow-rolled it twice. I remember the SRV Bay cargo hatch clipping through on the Conda. I remember that. Okay, check this out. What am I checking? Woo? Oh, yep, that is... So, Alicors, I am checking out that picture. It keeps making me wonder, is that a prototypical Thargoid base? Is that a Thargoid base being grown, or is this just something else in the typical Thargoid configuration? But yeah, this guy... Or is it Thargoid grave? No, I don't think so. There's too much materials here. That and Thargoid ships do come by here from time to time to harvest. I mean, it's certainly got the size of a Thargoid base. I mean, this place is certainly large enough. If all of this came up out of the ground, you would have a Thargoid base. Yeah, and it also looks like a ship. Could you do a comparison between a between that picture and a Thargoid sight from the air? There should be plenty of pictures of that around. You'd think. Let's see here. Mr. Headsworth, do you have any tips with finding stuff with using an SRV wave scanner? Best place I could think of is... Now, keep in mind this site is loud. Let me double check I've got the right address on it. Okay, yes, this site can be loud, but you can turn off the, the initial sound it starts with. Wavescanner.net, and that will show you both the visual pattern of what you were looking at and also give you the audio on it.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Alright, let's start for the main one first. The Super Barnacle. Wait, I see one right here. Oh, you're gonna be a pain in my butt, aren't you? Alright, so we're gonna back off a little bit. Aim towards. And immediately fly over it and get ourselves wedged. Right, let's try that again with less stupid. Come on. Come on. Almost got it. Almost got it. Got it. Alright, now to get myself out of here. Sorry about that estimated profit. Yeah, work with Alcors here and he'll get you going. Alcors, there is no E in there. No, he's misspelling it. 1 second. There. That one should work. There is no E in estimated, other than the... There we go. No, I had to double check on... I had to double... No, Alcors, I'm not making fun of you. I'm not bullying you here. No bully. No, it took me a second too. I looked at estimated profit's name. I was like, wait a minute, something's not quite. Oh, right. Dazzy, no sound effects? No, there should be sound effects. Can you? Are you not hearing the game? Is anybody else able to hear the game? Baby Alcor says blub blub blub. Aw. Or what do you mean for sound effects? I mean, yes, there's also... I mean, all the sound commands should be up too. I hope. Yeah, people have been saying hey-oh all day, so... Oh, hello, Yuki. Are you here to eat more things and wreck more shit?
Hello. You die first, get it? Your friends might get me in a rush, but not before I make your head into a canoe, you understand me?
Alright, everything is up and running, it seems. Audio's a little low. Yeah, that's my doing. Let me see if I can bring it up a little bit.
Explain now!
He fused with Kami so we could become stronger.
The f***'s a commie?
Basically God.
But I'm still here!
Do you really believe your own hype that much?
I am the hype!
I love that one. Here comes the spam. You know what? There's worse things to be spammed by. I'll take it. You know, Varad, I do not actually have a spam command. I need something with Vikings talking, you know, singing song. I was say Vikings. And no, I've now got a very small white ball of floof sitting in my lap, trying to fly my spaceship. Mr. Headsworth, God hype comes from Dragon Ball Z Abridged. A lot of these do. I'm a big fan of the series. I'm a big fan of Team 4 Stars, all of their abridged stuff, to be honest. Yuki? No, you cannot eat the controller. That is bad. That'll make Papa-san cry, and then you won't get food. Because this is how Papa-san feeds your habit, you know. I'm finding about 6 per flip, Sanson. Either 4 or 6. Let's see if I remember right. Also, Mr. Headsworth, yeah,
Oh, what are you gonna do? Grab that guy who can stop me?
What was his name?
Michael Mc doesn't exist.
yeah, there we go. At some point, I need to put in the other sound effects. Just one more thing on the laundry list of things I gotta do. Did I watch Hellsing Ultimate Abridged? Oh, yes, I did.
This message is irrelevant!
Oh, Cthulhu Collector, thank you so much for the 101 bits. Greatly appreciated. Oop, fuel reserve, 25%. Okay, so here in your inventory, you go over to Synthesis and you go over to SRV Refuel. 1 sulfur, 1 phosphorus, and that'll top off the tank.
Fuel replenished.
And we're back to good. Gojira Samurai, my son and I were just talking about Hellsing. Awesome. Get that bitch a cannon. I had a friend who was into embroidery for a while, and they actually wrote that. They embroidered that and hung it up on the wall. Bitches love cannons. Did I watch SAO Abridged? No, I haven't gotten to that one.
Cargo scoop deployed.
And it's through the uprights. And he's got it. Okay, I'm going to see if I can't pick this one off at range and try to get it to fly somewhere else. Like, away from the central barnacle.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
And we got another one right there. Beautiful. And also, not exactly a abridged series, but the late Monty Ohm, who passed away way before his time, did a wonderful series called Dead Fantasy. And just the fighting moves, the fluidity, I mean, it was all fan animated, but it was, you know, it was incredible for the detail and the choreography he put into those fights. And if you haven't looked up Dead Fantasy, yeah, part 1 and 2 especially, those are my 2 favorites. Ah, damn it, that one's gonna be... when you dismiss your ship, where does it go? It goes into a very low Super Cruise holding pattern, I think. That way it can't be interdicted, and it's nearby to, Wait a minute. Cargo bay's full. Thought I transferred everything. Alright, doing this again. galaxy map.
Displaying map.
Ah, there's Gret. Over there. 50,011 light years from me. 50,011, because it's that extra 11 that really makes the difference. Yeah, just to skip around the block. There. I mean, I've heard of a milk run before, but this must be some milk. There it is. Alright, good. It hasn't degraded. It's only at 99%. Oh yes, Cthulhu Collector, as Physiogeny says, the Neutron Highway. Not white dwarf stars, though they give a similar boost. Well, they give an inferior boost. Basically, if you look at the galaxy map, if you go, say, 1100 to 2100 light years up, or 1100 to 2100 light years down, below or above the galactic plane, and usually it's easier to do that in, say, this disk or this arm beyond, you will find a ring or a layer of neutron stars. Alicors, the item you're looking for is meta-alloys, yes. You will find a layer of neutron stars. And when you fly into the jet cone of the neutron star, and there's a specific way to do this, I've got a video called, so you want to use the neutron highway. You will, you gotta get in the jet, and if you have a neutron star, that will quadruple your ship's jump range for one jump. Now, Alicors, the little stuff, there's two different kinds of growth on these stalks. There's the smaller ones and then the larger, more ripened seed pods. The larger ones always have meta-alloys on board. Let's see here. Speaking of... I think I see one over here. And I would be wrong. These two little ones, those are just common materials. Thank you for that video. Helped me overcome the fear. Oh, glad to hear it. How close do you got to be to the exact center on the radar thing to land safely? If you mean landing at a station, you got to have... It's got to be fairly close. In fact, when I fly these things back to Narvard, I can show you. In fact, I'm only 3 jumps out. I may as well see if I can pick up 1 or 2 more, and then we will head back to Narvard and see just how badly the pirates want me. Oh, don't make a special trip, I'm at work, so... Oh. No, that's fine. I mean, I was gonna head back anyway. I'm certainly not gonna fill up 200 tons of cargo on stream, and to be honest, I think the audience would kind of murder me if it was just me scooping up meta alloys all day. Just recently played this in VR, my first experience, jumped into a system with a neutron star and it scared the piss out of me. They do that. Now, okay, here's the thing. Neutron stars and white dwarf stars look very similar. Neutron stars are much, much safer and easier to work with. A neutron star, they have a very small gravity area. Like, there's a very small, not very, but a significantly smaller chance of jumping over the gravity step and being yanked down into real space. Whereas a neutron star, or a white dwarf star, that's got a very, very large gravity area in relation to the size of the jet cone. And if you get pulled down into real space while in the jet cone of a... Yeah, if you get pulled down into real space while you're in the jet cone of a white dwarf, you're dead. I mean, same with a neutron star, but a much smaller chance of that happening. 30 tons. I'll take it. Yeah, and the heat. White dwarf stars are significantly hotter. Or you gotta get closer to them or something. But either way, they will melt you down pretty easy. Set a course for home.
Displaying map. Course locked. Stand by.
Alright, 161 light years. Looks like we got 3 jumps. Jumpy, I'm an idiot. Oh no. How many cobras did you just kill? Gear up.
Gear up.
I just defected to Aisling Duval for the, Oh, I'm not at home and I'm in my beluga. So I've got to avoid hostiles while flying a passenger ship. And remember, that ship is in the top 1% of all liners out there. So yeah, we're on board the Bifrost right now. I've converted this over to super heavy cargo configuration. And so I've lost some of the jump range on this thing. It can only jump 57 light years. Which is a sight lower than what it usually runs at. But I feel a little bit more secure. I can boost, I've got bigger engines, I've got stronger shields. Due to an unexpected delay, we'll arrive at our destination slightly deader than expected. Truex, good afternoon. Isn't Alex Martin in Squadron 42? Yes, she is. She's the voice of the computer in Star Citizen. Hell, I don't even know if Squadron 42 exists anymore, to be honest. But I liked her voice compared to the standard voice that was available at the time. Myth Doll, oh hi.
Confirming exit point telemetry. Stand by.
All right, jump number 1, not high predicted. This is good. Cthulhu Collector. Hold on. Crew command roster. Crewman Vasco, all stations.
Aye, aye, Commander.
That is all.
Affirmative. Standing by.
Would you happen to mean that Brian Blessed Cthulhu? They've also got Tom Baker. The Fourth Doctor, for those who know.
Stand by. I feel the need. The need for speed. Exiting hyperspace.
All right, jump number 2 is successful. Jump number 3, Narvert system.
Fasten your seatbelts!
What does boom reported mean? Boom reported means that our faction, there's a financial boom going on. Missions pay out more, influence is greater.
This had better be worth it.
Vasco, you and Eli can just shut the hell right up. But no, in a boom state, missions, basically it means you get paid more for missions for factions that are in a boom. And when I get landed, I can show you to where to look here. BGS is background simulation. It's the ebb and flow of power and influence and... Oh, no problem, Cthulhu. It's the ebb and flow of power and influence between various powers and factions within a star system, and also how it can be used to influence other powers and factions. And Mr. Turtleman, screaming to you too, sir. Power! Unlimited power! No. Please, if I was going to give people crap for maniacal laughter, I'd have to time myself out so long. Have I turned report crimes back on? You know what? I do believe I have. Let's see, there should be a station around here. There it is. Doesn't look like anybody's trying to get me. I take that back. That ship that just went screaming past me. That's usually a sign of somebody trying to get an interdiction in. Yeah, that one. He's rolling back around. He's probably going to hit the planet. Blood Bowl League? Yeah, that's good. I'm not saying, you know, everybody does have a Discord, you're right. Gonna buy myself a joystick, then finally play for real. What you looking at for picking up? Home again, didgeridoo. Falcon to Lacey, Kilo, Yankee, Lima, request docking clearance.
Position authorized. Set down on landing pad 09.
Pad 9.
8 o'clock immediate.
Of course. Gear down.
Loading gear.
How much harder is it to play with just a PS4 controller? To be honest, I couldn't tell you. I've never flown with a controller. I have always flown stick, throttle, and rudder.
This message is irrelevant!
14 minutes missed. I can't afford to miss any of this stream. Well, thank you so much for the 14 bits, and remember, there's an archive that I throw up the day after. Well, that's not bad. How do I go vertical with the setup I have? I have a hat switch on my throttle, which I use for up, down, left, and right. Let's see. Let me get back into the announcements channel where I was. Let's see your staff hangout. There we go. Pleiades sector. That's not the one. Here we are, Hyades sector. Galaxy map.
Well, look at that! So many marvelous places to go!
What's up, Alcors? Invite me to a wing if you're coming to me. Alright. What wing? Let's see here. Actually, where are you at? I imagine you must be... Are you in PNT? You are. 306 light years. Well, it's closer. May as well give it a go. Gear up. Wing me up.
Landing gear up.
Got it. Okay, and that is 6 jumps. 300 light years in 6 jumps. I'll take that. I can watch a 3-hour stream, but if I see a 3-hour video, I'm like, no thanks. I'm wondering about that. I'm wondering, you know, when I export from
infinity
Twitch,
and beyond.
You know, I'd ask if Vasco came with a volume key,
Maximum
but
velocity engaged.
I already know the answer to that. All right, Otis. Take care. Have a good one. You too.
Hyperspace.
So no, I was wondering, so whenever I export from Twitch to YouTube, and I realize that, you know, a 3-hour video is not, you know, I'm keeping that up for archival purposes, basically. But there is the option, you cannot turn down, yeah, it's really true. There's the option for splitting the video into 15-minute segments and just creating its own individual playlist.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Does that sound like a valid option for folks? If I just split my stuff down into 15-minute segments? Or is that just going to be more of a pain in the butt?
Exiting hyperspace.
I could do both, I suppose. It's not like I'm paying for space on YouTube. Because if I had to make a guess, it would, Are you going to play an ad at the start of each video? Well, a 30-second ad at the, for 15 minutes? Hell, TV doesn't do that good. I mean, I've considered it, Cthulhu. I realize that might be... a guy's got to make a living. That's true, you can pause and resume with long streams.
Exiting hyperspace.
Before you started coming here for the live streams, you'd watch the YouTube videos at work on a monitor, do all my work on the other. If it's in an auto playlist, it'd make it easier to get missed parts. And thank you, Aaron Duran, by the way. That's one of the things I've heard, actually. That's why I sprung for, as good a microphone, and I'm gonna be upgrading my sound setup even more. But the number one thing I've heard... yes, Cthulhu, you gotta stay outside of that line. People might not be watching your stream all the time, but they may be running it in the background. So the best thing you can do is have good audio. Weekly highlights on YouTube might be good, but editing... That's the problem. I've got to find a better way of editing up a highlight stream. Or a highlight reel. Alright, 2 jumps out. Maybe consider doing a highlight reel of each stream. I don't even think you'd be the one having to select the clips. Oh, thank you, Alicors. It's true, Mr. Headsworth. I do have a clip it, and I do have a marker button.
Maximum velocity.
I do have a marker button here as well. It's just a case of getting it, trimmed down and edited, and maybe putting in some kind of transition effect. You just don't want to just smash cut to everything. I do want it to look, somewhat, possibly, kinda, sorta like he gives a damn about what he's, putting up for video. Sucker, I mean, find a volunteer. Aha. I like the cut of your gibberish,
Fasten
sir.
your seatbelts! It's gonna be a bumpy night! Maximum velocity engaged.
Crew command roster. Crewman Eli, all stations.
Exiting hyperspace.
Oh, how nice.
That is all.
Thank you, Commander. What do you want to do today?
Save the damn station. What do you want to do today? I think I've been here before. Mostly because everything has already been scanned. So I must have come in and at least honked the horn. On the other hand, the planet's unexplored. Yes, Cthulhu Collector, these are orbital paths, and you can turn them on or turn them off. I've got mine actually bumped up to a button on my throttle. But I find the orbital paths to be very useful. And, Mr. Headsworth, you're not wrong. I just need to find more hours in the day to do it. I mean, if I were able to do this as a full-time job, I'd certainly be able to find the time there, but there's, I mean, unfortunately, there's other stuff that needs consideration. Stupid real world grumble, grumble, grumble. Also the case of, if once I get more comfortable and used to my editing software, I'm sure I could speed up the process a bit. But right now, it's just a case of, there's no time. But hopefully get things switched around here. Question. Let's see here. Eon Red Apocalypse. I have Thrustmaster Elite Dangerous HOTUS. TWCS Throttle. What's the little dial where your pinky is? I don't have that mapped. I don't have that mapped either. I'm trying to figure out what would be good for it, and I'm not... Sensor range, maybe? But that's more of a click, click, click than a constant, than an axis. No, what would be a good axis that would be mapped to that pinky? And I don't know. That's why, I mean, that was another problem I had running all my other SciTech stuff. Alright, Alcors, I've got you in my sights. Gear down.
Gear down.
Mr. Headsworth, dial at the pinky. Yeah, it's on the Thrustmaster TWCS throttle.
Long words are so very inconvenient, aren't they?
Broad, using your dials for strafing. That's a plan. That's an idea, certainly. And yeah, I would have no problem with, you know, if people were making more clips of, you know, the really good stuff. Next previous fire group, I've got, there's actually a little up and down switch on the throttle that works better for that, I think. The problem with the, I mean, next previous fire group, kind of same problem. Wipe your feet on the rug before entering the lounge. I don't know, this place looks pretty grody to me. Yeah, I remember that about the X-52, that it had a center notch. This one doesn't. Oh, what would be good? Truex, I'd be playing Elite right now, but I'm compiling my ARC map. Well, that's a good reason for not playing Elite. It's true. You know what? It's a little bit nicer here, too, when you got broad daylight. Alright, Alcors, I think I'm gonna flip it.
We are being hailed.
Map zoom? Yeah, map zoom might work, Drifting Raven. You know, I wonder. Actually, could you use it for galaxy map navigation? Galaxy map navigation might be doable. And suddenly the air entry appears. Yep. Wait, 3 ships? Oh wait, that's your SRV, alright. Well, the EAS is about, or the EAN is about to disappear. I'm gonna do a flip and move over to here. Okay. Find me some weird alien shit. Alien shit sighted. Approaching. I went solo because there's only so many of these around. So you've got to flip the board every once in a while to reset these barnacles. Oh yes, it reboots the spawns.
Cargo scoop deployed.
You know, it's amazing, Cthulhu, how often I get that. I was trying to do a Jacques Cousteau impersonation when I was talking about Gret's magnificent space whale. Didn't quite fly, but it flew well enough, apparently. Let's see here. There's got to be a ship around here someplace. There it is. Yeah, Truex. Starport recovery today. We got UA bombed. And so we're just grabbing meta-alloys to fix Glidden. And maybe improve it. I don't know how many people who were here for the beginning, but I said, you know, it's kind of embarrassing, but Glidden Enterprise will be hit by, hit by UA bombing, and the Galnet article is going to say, 5 billion credits and improvements done. Here we have the gold-beaked penguin making its way to the rest of its flock. Also, if you haven't seen it, epic voice guy playing XCOM 2. And having a hell of a time with the controls. Because he's also the voice of the council member. But no, Mr. Headsworth and Cthulhu Collector, I had to... Listening to me makes cooking easier? Oh, I'm glad to hear that. No, I worked at a building that had 3 radio stations inside of it. And we ran all of them. And some of the equipment was from the Roosevelt administration. That'd be Teddy, not Franklin. One of them, when one of the soundboards broke down, we ended up getting a replacement from some little old NPR station at a church up in Minnesota. You know, the kind of radio station that you gotta be on horse tranquilizers to listen to. You're listening to NPR. And not the news and information type of NPR. No, this is the, you know, you're just listening to, very, very quiet, soothing sounds of, like, felt. Let's see here. Eon Red Apocalypse. One more question. I know Elite is still science fiction, needs to bend the rules. One thing that bugs me. If you drop from Supercruise as close to a sun as you do an Elite by accident, would its gravity not suck you in? Excluding the fact you would burn up before then. Not quite. You're still... When you get dropped down from the star, you immediately go from very high speed to 0. And you're still, you know, a few... Possibly a light second or... Depending. But you're still a good, significant portion of distance away from the surface of the star. Plus, my own personal theory on it is that your jump drive, which, you know, bends space like a Alcubierre drive, without the whole nasty radiation once you drop down, it still protects you a little bit. It still has a residual space warping effect. I mean, I'm able to drop down to real space inside a black hole, or very, very close to one. And it doesn't, you know, the fact that it doesn't immediately kill me dead, it's pretty good evidence that the jump drive has some kind of residual effect going on. And Rambling Dragon, you would be slightly correct. This is not a bit creepy, this is a lot creepy. Okay, so we've gone this way. Let's roll back around this way. But no, the radio stations I worked at were a top 40 adult contemporary station, which just means a dozen hits played over and over and over again. A AM radio station that was mostly news, but also, you know, music your grandparents would think was a little bit on the oldies side. Drifting Raven, how can you tell when the station is fixed? I have no idea. I'd really like to know, but I'm not sure, so we're going by the better safe than sorry approach. Seriously, am I stuck in here? Alright, we're bumping our way out of here. And I even collected what I needed. And then the third station was a classic rock station, which... somebody's definition of classic was a little off. KLSS, KRIB, and KYTC. But yes, Magic and Reasons is also a good answer. When you say you're running 3 stations, do you also do some talking, or is it just music? Oh no, I did talking. I was one of the DJs there. I did bumpers, I played the music, did the weather, gave the news. And when I say I ran all 3 stations, I mean that on Saturday and Sunday mornings, I was the only person there from 5 a.m. to noon, and I had to coordinate all 3 stations. Alicors, I have problems. Uh-oh, okay. What do we got?
Oh no.
Oh, fixed it. Okay. Well, I don't have a woohoo, so just imagine. I tell you what, some of the most obnoxious people I've ever dealt with working in radio, and I've dealt with people, I mean, I've had, you know, there's your usual variety of drunks calling up late at night on a Saturday night. That's usual. And on a Friday night, whatever. But Sunday morning, if you miss getting the local church broadcast on the air by even 30 seconds, oh, that phone just exploded off the cradle. They were some of the meanest, angriest people I have ever met. Little old ladies who didn't get their church on time on Sunday morning. Running 3 at once seems problematic? You'd be correct, it was problematic. My schedule, my weekend schedule was Saturday morning, 5 a.m. to noon, Saturday night, 6 p.m. to midnight, Sunday morning, 6 a.m. to noon, Sunday night, 6 p.m. to midnight. I didn't have a social life, I had a work schedule. They fixed the SRV crash bugs. I didn't know there was one. Apparently, yes then. SRV, Surface Recon Vehicle, these buggies we're driving around in. Yep, just making sure. You clearly have a better work ethic than me. I wanted to be in radio. I was told I had the perfect face for it.
Kids these days and their crazy language, am I right?
Oh, the Eric G, thank you so much for the host. Greatly appreciated. But yeah, I had the face for radio, and I really wanted to be... Okay, so despite being very, very anxious and fearful of public speaking, I wanted to be in radio. I didn't say it was easy. You see, if you want to be an attention whore, you gotta put in the work. So... No, I got my big break when this little local radio station... or trio of radio stations.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Where'd it go? Oh wait, there it went. I think I just saw it landing in the distance over there. Yeah, it flew off. It just... Oh, come on! Alright. Cool! Yes, on another planet, apparently. Wait, we're good. We rolled into a crater. Did I finally get a job at the radio station? Yeah, so here I am. I'm 16. I'm sitting in chem class in high school. Alright, Alicors, throw all power into your engines and boost while rolling. And if that doesn't work, let me know. So I'm sitting in chem class, and I've got an English lit teacher. Yeah, cooking meth. That was a long time ago. Yeah, we didn't have... Well, no, we did have meth at the time. Because it was North Iowa. And my English lit teacher, who was also happened to be a former DJ, came in and said, hey, so there's a local station that just had an opening. You want the job? And I'm like, yes. Okay, worked like a dream. Excellent. Turns out the person who, the opening was because... Oh, thank goodness. I thought that was a Thargoid ship appearing. Turns out the opening was because the previous person who'd held the job had had a little bit of a panic attack during severe weather and screamed into an open mic during a tornado warning, "Oh my God, we're all going to die." It takes 100 tons of UA to bomb and 1,000 to recover? 1,000 meta-alloys? I thought it was always the other way around. I thought it was one meta-alloy would counter multiple... UAs.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Ray, how come you use drive assist? I use drive assist because if I didn't, it would actually just, let me back up here. Let me run through some, let me back up through conversation. Ray, I use drive assist because on low gravity worlds, if I didn't, I'd be bouncing around. The thrusters on an SRV actually help keep you pinned to the ground. It's artificial downforce. Well, it's non-aerodynamic downforce. Also, with drive assist on, I actually stop when I hit the brakes instead of just rolling along. Does anyone know what happens to ships that are docked at a station when it closes? You can... They're moved to another station? Okay. I thought you could just summon them to another station. Liela, not that I have any thorough and professional experience bombing stations for political reasons. Well, that's good. MAs and UAs tend to cancel each other out 1-to-1. Okay. So now I've heard 10-to-1, 5-to-1, and 1-to-1. Fortunately, it's still not 1-to-10. Yep, SRV's at 43% fuel. That's not bad. You can always just refill it. And Leela, by the way, I wanted to apologize for you yesterday, because I don't know if I was actually salty. I feel like I was a little... I could have handled things better, because damn, you put on a clinic on how to knock a ship down. And I realized I was getting a little grumbly about it because holy crap. More shocked than anything? Well, you're not wrong. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stay in the I think I'm gonna stay in the the amateur brigade for a while. Yeah, I'm not ready for Daytona or Indy or, you know, Silverstone yet, but, you know, maybe I'm okay at popping around the go-kart track. Alicor, anyone refueled an SRV? Here's what you do. You go over to Menu 4. You go over to Inventory. You go over to Synthesis, and you should see SRV Refuel. That is 1 sulfur and 1 phosphorus, and it'll bring you back to full. Czar, what's with the metas? What's the meta? I don't know. What's the meta you? No. Narvert. Glidden Enterprise got UA bombed. Alicors, in the SRV.
Oh, snap! The monster I sent you to kill is actually a monster truck! Guns, motherfucker!
The previous DJ freaked out and you were offered the job. Did anything eventful happen once you got the job? 9/11. The head of the news department on September 11th was talking to me about how we don't know Master 10. I'm inclined to believe that that it wasn't, but I am a very trusting person and probably can be led astray in many interesting ways by that. But no, our news director was telling me how in a situation like this, people are going to bounce in weird ways. And the best thing you can do is just put everything off to one side and be as professional, as courteous, and as... be as stoic as you can and just report things. So, on this day, we get a report from somebody calling in saying... there's a guy going down Highway 122, and he's dragging a 12-foot cross. So the news director and I kind of look at each other, and we go, what in the actual? So, we hop in his car, I grab the recorder, he grabs the microphone, I start plugging things in while he's driving. And he, who has just been telling me about how, in crisis situations, you gotta be calm. You gotta be, you know, don't do anything stupid. Sure enough, we see a guy dragging a 12-foot cross down the interstate. He pulls up next to him. First thing he says is, Jesus Christ, what are you doing, man? So much for stoic. And I'm not sure how many meta-alloys we need, Czar, unfortunately. How many do I have on board right now? I've thrown 30 over. Oh yeah, I could just look over at my inventory here. Cargo. Nothing. Alright. And yeah, these things run on very interesting fuels, Cthulhu Collector. Liela, no idea who's doing the bombing. Let's see here. Other interesting things that happened at the station while I was working there. A cornfield that my family owned caught on fire. That was all kinds of interesting. Probably the guy we didn't accept into our PG. Stations shut down. Yes, stations can be shut down. They can't be blown up except by Thargoids. But they can be... No, this one isn't going to take a sum up. This one's going to take an explanation. And yes, there's also the possibility of multiple bombers. So anyway, there are Thargoid artifacts. They used to be called unknown artifacts, UA. So that's where the term UA bombing came from. Now they are Thargoid sensors. But if you pick up a Thargoid sensor / UA, or any other, major piece of Thargoid tech, it will actually start to degrade your ship. It'll start to melt the hull, burn out the cargo rack. Just, first thing that usually happens is it will melt the cargo hatch off and jettison itself back into space. So, if somebody has a good amount of, corrosion-resistant cargo racks, yeah, Mr. Headsworth, I managed to not freak out on air. I was just like going, oh, son of a... Alright, somebody cover for me, I gotta go. So, if they have corrosion-resistant cargo racks, they can throw that over to a space station, and it will start interfering with the station's technology. And if enough of it happens, the infrastructure just kind of falls apart. Now, you can stop that with meta-alloys, and the example I gave earlier, it still holds up. Imagine taking a computer motherboard and snapping it in half over your knee. Now, hold the two halves back together and touch meta-alloy to it, just rub meta-alloy over it, and it will seek out the electrical connections and repair them. Well, I had to go help fight the fire. So that's what meta-alloys do to heal a station that's been damaged by Thargoid sensors or unknown artifacts. Yeah, meta-alloy is a great computer repair guy. Where in the hell? Oh, there it is. Stop rolling around the damn rock and let me catch you. Better. Come on. There we go. And it's stuck. And it's unstuck. Now I know there's a ship. There it is. Lost track of the damn boat for a minute. Mr. Headsworth, what do you mean you had to go fight the fire? Oh, okay, so... I was saying that, one of the other things that happened when I was in radio was we got news from the fire department that a field was on fire, a cornfield during harvest. Well, it was a field that my dad was working in. So I went and gave a hand with the firefighters, because it was a volunteer fire department, and I volunteered. Besides, I got some great recording and quotes from people there. Now, I'd been on shift working the board. Well, I was able to get somebody to cover for me while I took care of that minor, in fuego situation. Oh, no. With 9/11, that was just me. I was still radio station flunky. I was the assistant. Yeah, I was assistant tech monkey then. Mando, hey, what's up? Now, another good story I had from the station was, I was asked to cover a remote for our morning guy. And by that, I mean, our morning guy was at a remote location. He was at some sporting goods store that was having they were a big local fixture, and they were having their annual sale, etc., etc. And he asked me to cover the engineering for him, the soundboard. Well, this guy was a real piece of work. Let's say real piece of work. There's got to be one more around here. Yeah, popcorn everywhere. So there was nothing I could do right. He was just giving me crap about everything. I wasn't fast enough on the commercials. I wasn't fast enough coming back from commercials. I was too high on the microphone. I was too low on the microphone. You know, just giving me all kinds of crap about this. And this is young, inexperienced me going, oh God, I'm gonna get fired. The station manager, the boss of bosses, walks in. He says, all right. Kind of nudges me aside and says, let me handle this. You take some equipment over to him. HS, you would be correct. Yeah, so the station manager kind of bumps me aside because we don't have a two-way phone connection. I'm using the phone tied into the on-air transmitter, so I can hear him during commercials. He cannot hear me at all. So yeah, the station manager bumps me aside and says, "I'll take care of this. Why don't you send some equipment on over to the to that store that he's going to need." So I've got a load of fresh batteries, a new recorder, fresh tapes, and a new microphone that isn't as crackly. And I walk in the sporting goods store, and I can hear him giving all kinds of shit to who he thinks is me. But it's actually his boss. And I walk over, I say, here you go. I have never seen a 400-pound man turn so pale white in a hurry. He went damn near transparent. Oh, meanwhile, the news guy is there too, and he's just laughing. That's when I knew I had a pretty good boss.
No!
He was, yeah, he was in the Navy. Guantanamo Bay with a friend in, I want to say, the 70s. And, they went a little overboard, so to speak, on their last night of liberty in Cuba. This is my boss, by the way. This is my boss who had a little too much fun in Cuba the night before they were supposed to ship out. Him and his buddy just absolutely tie one on. Okay, now to get out of here. Give me a second, get the engines to recharge. Boost ourselves out. Assuming you weren't doing anything wrong with the soundboard then, the guy was just being unpleasant. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So no, my boss, he's in Cuba, ties one on with a buddy. They stagger back onto the boat, both of them just kind of leaning on each other. They get 60 miles out to sea. They both look at each other and one of them says, "Hey, wait a minute. Weren't we stationed on a carrier?" Yes, these two fellows managed to get themselves to stagger themselves aboard a guided missile cruiser instead of their actual boat. Hung over to hell and gone. And they're like, well, crap. There you go, Mando. So, they don't get transferred over by helicopter. Oh, no, no, no. These guys are still apocalyptically hungover. Not just like, oh God, no, no. This is the actual oh God of hangovers has come and visited them. And he's got a little guy behind each of their eyes with Mjolnir trying to knock him out. And yeah, they definitely needed to be on a bigger boat. Oh yes, this was... So here's what happens. They pull up alongside the carrier, and they shoot a line out. And to that line is attached a chair. So now you've got two guys, as I say, apocalyptically hungover, now being transferred between two ships on a chair suspended by a wire. They had quite a bit of laundry duty to do when they got back to the boat. Because they had already tried to load themselves up on tomato juice to try to fight off the hangover. Well, do you know what tomato juice, a massive hangover, and dress whites combined to be? Oh no, they did this in 2 trips. Yeah, do you know what dress whites, tomato juice, and a hangover combine into? Yeah, the dress pinks. Master 10, you got it right. With a little bit of green involved, too. Yeah, new dress whites. Oh, they... Yeah. The chief of the boat was just... It was a damn mess. But no, there's all kinds of stories you can tell from radio. I mean, God, the day I came into work, a few more hours at 100% and GPU, oh. Alright, Truex, yeah, your computer's gonna need a break. It might need to go out on a drinking binge after this, too. But no, the day I showed up at work, and they were selling furniture. They were selling office furniture in the front parking lot in order to make payroll.
Cargo scoop deployed.
And that's the day I knew, yeah, I knew it was time to find something else to do. Because this job was not going to be financially tenable for much longer. Lowrider 07, how you been? Yeah, that thing came right to me. I wish more of these. If I could have a cargo magnet, please. Little tractor beam, something. Is that what made you stop radio altogether? Yeah, well, it didn't make me stop radio, it just made me stop working there. 1 second here. Hydration time. No, what made me stop working was, well, I got into radio at the perfectly wrong time. See, what was happening was there was this, a lot of programming coming in like Audio Vault, where you didn't actually have to be at the station. You could record, your entire 6-hour, 8-hour shift. How fast do you log if you hear your frame shift anomaly? I've got a pretty strong hold-it-in reflex. Yes, that's exactly what happened, Cthulhu Collector. There was automation. So I could come in, and they would just ask me to record, do an hour's worth of work. Well, it sounded like I was on the air for 8 hours, and I was only being paid for 1. Are people born with radio voice, or do you steal it from whoever you replace? A little bit of talent, a little bit of luck, and a little bit of training. Where's my ship? There it is. Brother worked in radio for many years. Got to see Packer games for free. What was it I heard? Billy Graham and Brett Favre. What do they have in common? Well, they were both able to get 10,000 people to stand up in a stadium and scream, "Jesus Christ!" Full disclosure, I'm a Vikings fan. It's not easy. Grislago, a Thargoid visited me while I'm collecting meta-alloys. Oh, how did that go? Oh, you're a Lions fan? Well, at least we're not at least we're not Browns fans. Yeah, my 1 hour session was coming up next. Now we have, you know, this is the latest from, and here's a look at the local weather. And then pray to God that a thunderstorm didn't roll up or something when you said clear skies. Let's see, that looks like, yep, that's another good one. Just got to get around to it. Close enough. Nope, it's a good issue to have, Cthulhu. I will tell you this. Having worked in the sports department at the station, I'm gonna try to... Oh, you little bastard of a fragment. Right there. The two worst things I've ever had to broadcast. One moment, I'm gonna have words with this mining fragment. Craziest thing to happen while you were on air? 9/11. But no, the worst thing I've ever had to broadcast is high school wrestling. Doing play-by-play of high school wrestling on the radio for 8 hours and me just having to sit there and listen to it. Followed by stock car racing. Come on, one more try. One more. Got it. Let's see, was that one or was that two? That was one. So we should have one more at least. Oh, hello there. It's a wild Alicors. There they go, round in a circle. Again. Yep.
We are being hailed.
Hello. You've reached Eli. Press 1 to power the engines, 2 for systems, 3 for weapons.
Well, the one time there was a right turn at Daytona, you ended up losing... I'm not even going to finish that joke. It's still a little on the cruel side. You know what, Alicors? I will be right back. I've got... Well, when I say right back, I may be able to help you a little bit more than doing this. Racing is fun to watch. Okay, 13 tons, not great. I'm going to fly back to Narvard, and then I'm going to configure, and Alicors, I'm gonna work with you on this because I've got a theory. I've got a theory that might make this a little bit faster. Set a course for home.
Stellar cartography.
Ray. It was part of one, and then I
Stand
realized
by.
that's still in bad taste. Noticed on the last stream the Taurus was running gimbaled frags and no pacifiers. Why the change? I'm gonna go grab a fighter, Alicors, if that's what you think I'm gonna do. Why the change? Because I was... pacifier frag cannons, they actually have a faster shot speed than other frag cannons. So my small and my large frags weren't actually lining up. Yeah, I can scout from the air much faster. I can scout from the air much faster, and we can find out what if there's any other barnacles in the area that actually have the meta-alloy. Just got to get clear of the gravity well, get home, and get this dropped off, and also get some fighters on board. Hopefully not get attacked by Thargoids in the process. That's always a plus. Gonna get a fighter or a large ship with a fighter bay. I'm gonna stick a fighter bay on this one real quick. I've got the jump range. The big problem now, I've got 6 jumps before I get home. Those 6 jumps, 4 of those take me through Thargoid territory. And in fact, I've heard about some of our people being interdicted by Thargoids leaving Narver.
Jumping to the next system.
So... this could be exciting.
Frame shift now engaged. No anomalies detected.
Yeah, pacifier speeds are...
engaging exit protocol.
Between 25 and 50% faster. Enough that it's hard to line them all up. Well, of course, you're just going to have to swap out again. I mean, go ahead and board flip while I'm doing this. Because I think we ran out of mats at that particular site. Gonna have to reset it.
Incoming transmission.
Oh, okay. I didn't have the actual numbers down. 50%. Thank you very much.
Engaging now.
You get named weapon hardpoints?
Scanning for anomalies.
No.
None detected.
No, you get numbered weapon hardpoints. But no, pacifiers are a different kind of frag cannon. That's why they've got the special name. Will do, Alcors. Will do.
Key systems are at optimal levels.
Oh, what's the pacifier? That's what I meant by named. Okay, so a standard frag cannon, very short-range weapon. You know, it's like a... Think about it this way. If you're familiar with firearms, a pacifier frag cannon, or your standard frag cannon is a sawed-off shotgun. It will fire off a massive blast of pellets at a very short range. It fire across a very wide area. A pacifier is like a long-barreled shotgun with a full choke on it. So the pattern of pellets is much more contained. It's much more... It holds together for a much greater distance.
Hyperspace velocity reached. All systems check out. No unusual activity.
And power play specific frags. So power play is the system you can go where you pledge to one of the, what, 7, 8, 9? One of the great powers of the galaxy. How does one get them? Well, one gets them. Let's pop on over to the power play menu here. So everybody has their own power play specific module. Edmund Mahan, he's got... what the hell does he have? Pledge. He gives you the Retributor Beam Laser. Causes enhanced heat damage. Small beam laser. Arissa Lavigny Duval, she gives the Imperial Hammer. It is a burst fire railgun. So what you do is, for all these powers, you pledge to them, you stay under their power for a month, 4 weeks, and you acquire 750 merits by the end of your fourth week or any time after. And that gives you the pacifier frag cannon in the service of Zachary Hudson, aka Grandpa T-1000.
Jumping to next system. Interstellar travel mode engaging now. Confirming exit point telemetry. Stand by.
Well, it looks like we made it with no trouble. Art Gimbals weaker than fixed. Is the change from fixed worth it? Gimbals are weaker than fixed, however, they have a wider field of fire. So, I mean, you have greater time on target. What are merits and how do I get them? That's a long, involved story. What's the range on my Conda at the moment? I'm running at 57 light years. I'm going to be getting this switched back up, so we'll be back to 77. Or so. Thereabouts.
Scanning for anomalies. None detected. Awaiting further instructions.
Scroff 07. Pull up a seat. What's up? And Mr. Headsworth, a better place to ask on that. And I'm not trying to say, you know, go bother someone else. I'm just trying to. It's a long, involved explanation, and I'm probably going to crash the ship. I'm either going to explain it badly, fly badly, and most likely both. Better place to ask on that would be over on the Discord server, or, you know, your server of choice. Just finished work, now I'm relaxing. Good day then. And in addition to what Commander Liela is saying, there's also the theory, and it seems like a good theory, that if you have gimbaled weapons, the guns can work on aiming themselves while you busy yourself with flying the ship. A little less, what do I want to say, workload. There's pros and cons to both. Kill this bounty, you get a merit. It's not quite bounty hunting. It is kind of, you can interdict people and get merits. Or you can do, like, transport missions, but you've got to usually pay for that. Yes, turrets. If I remember right, turrets actually use the smallest amount of energy, but that's because they have a smaller gun, because they've got to fit on board a larger housing that can, you know, gimbal and spin. Kind of like a tank destroyer versus a tank. Sounds like a lot of time and effort. It can be a real chore, I'll say that. Pad 2.
6 o'clock immediate.
Of course. Lights on.
Lights on.
Gear down.
Deploying gear.
Slightly overshot. This is where a backup beeper would be very useful.
Touchdown confirmed. Clear to disembark.
Oh, sorry, Evazan. Well, tell you what, you can switch over if you keep the pacifiers. Just move over to gimbaled, the small gimbaled frags, and you should be good yet. Let's move this over. So yeah, my problem, Commander Evazan, was that I was using all fixed, and I didn't pay enough attention to know that there was a shot speed difference. But if you use the fixed pacifiers, you ought to be able to get by just fine on the gimbaled smalls. HS, gonna sleep. You guys have fun. Take care. Have a good one. Okay, to do 13 tons of meta alloy, a little bit more there. Seriously, I do not have my Alright, this will be a little bit longer than I thought, Alcors. Just real quick, just gotta do some quick. How big is that? That's 70, fighter hangar crate, let's say... Okay, we'll use the fighter bay off the shockwave. Hoobity-doop-de-doo. Alright, into the bay with you. And actually, it'll be quicker for me to swap modules around and get my jump range up than to jump the six jumps, I think. My biggest regret here on the Bifrost, excuse me, when Hank blew up the ship, I lost that beautiful patina that I had going on. Oh, I did have a fighter hangar in storage. Ah, beautiful. All right. We'll see. Thrusters, right. Alright, not perfect, but... Excuse me. Sorry, Yuki, didn't mean to scare you there. Modules, okay, FSD booster, right, we're running a little... Right, workshop. Gotta boost up the power plant a little bit. Better. I've got shields back, that's good. Okay, turn off the vehicle hangar, good. Fuel scoop, mostly good. Cargo hatch is off. I think we're ready. Thargoid. There's the Thargoid there. Lovely. Get pictures. Get lots of screenshots.
Access to docking facilities. Authorization. Please submit requests.
It made the heatsink noise. Interesting. Oh, wait. Oh, Ray says... No, I didn't deploy a heatsink. Everything on my ship was shut down. And everything iced up because everything was just so cold. Gear up.
Gear coming up.
Aw. Shoot, Alcors, it wasn't gonna hurt you on the ground. At least not as far as I know. But no, Ray, when all of your power shuts down, when you've got zero anything running, it freezes you up. So yeah, my jump range went from 50-some light years to 72. Yeah, it's not gonna come after you, Alicors. Loud noises, poop in pants. That's the spirit, be brave.
Leaving system.
So this next thing I'm going to demonstrate is what you can do if you are helping out friends with a Guardian site, or if you are...
Confirming
if you're in a wing, this works really well with Guardian sites too. Ooh, you're a big one, ain't ya? I'm 20 light seconds away from that star. System map. That's a giant.
System map.
Let's see here. 6 solar radii. 6 times the size of the sun. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Anyway, this works really well with Guardian sites as well. If you have a friend, and you can all take turns in fighters. So if you got multiple ships with fighter bays,
course adjustment.
You know, you can fly top cover. Tell you what, fighters work really, really well against Guardian skimmers. And they can also charge up Guardian Guardian pylons.
Engaging exit protocol.
You just can't scoop anything with them. Or scan anything with them. Come to think of it, if you can pull that off with a fighter, you ought to be able to pull that off with a bigger ship too. Questions for later. Though it is easier with a fighter because you can actually leave the ship parked above the site instead of trying to find a place to land and drive to it.
Vectors.
Do I have my gun sight mode set to leading or trailing? I believe I've got it on trailing. Let's find out.
Scanning for anomalies, none detected.
Let's get a scan here, and while we get around the star, I can go have a look. I invite to wing. Friends is borked. There we go. Unborked. Gun sight is set to leading. Huh, I wanted trailing. Oh, now it's almost unanimous you want leading. Huh. Alright, well.
Jumping to next system.
The difference between the two. I'm trying to remember, and again, it's a case of I can either give a bad explanation or fly badly. And most likely both.
Now.
Alright, well, we're back to leading then. Excuse me.
Warning. Leaving system.
I may play around with those. Play around with the various gun sight modes. Alright, wing invite accepted.
All systems check out. No unusual activity. Jumping to transmission.
All right, thank you, Alcors.
Frame shift now engaged. No anomalies detected. Hull integrity is within limits. All other systems are at normal levels.
That's a very good point, Leela. And we've got Master 10 here as well. I don't think 4 of us are going to be mining too much out of this thing, but we can take a look.
Incoming transmission.
More the merrier. Unfortunately, we don't get any greater number of barnacles as far as I know. Or meta-alloys. Oh, Omoon, are you alright? Because it looks like you just, well, you tried to pull a T10, it looks like. Okay, so how high can you be?
Incoming transmission.
How high can you be before you see the site? Wing invite sent. Ground jumped up. Does that sometimes. Regarding UA bombings and fuel routes. Uh-oh. Alright, what do you got, Jumpy? $70 clicks out and we still can't see the patterning. There we go. About 20 clicks up, faintly. All right, we are out the door and ready to scan. Alright, so there's a big one here. Wait, Jumpy, you're being targeted too? The fuel? Oh, I may have missed some conversation here, and I'm sorry, I was kind of lost in my own stuff. Alright, there's Alcor's SRV.
Incoming transmission.
I can't actually make out the SRV. Happened about 10 minutes ago? Alright, let me, take a look at that in a bit here. Where is that SRV at? You do a wing beacon for Omoon. I can, I hope. I cannot do a wing beacon from the fighter. Recall the fighter.
Incoming transmission.
Oh, Master 10 has the beacon on? Alright.
Receiving telemetry.
There's Alicor's, but it says you're 70 kilometers away, and somehow I don't think that's accurate. Now it says you're 75 kilometers away. Alicor's, this is saying you have fallen through the planet.
Long words are so very inconvenient.
And the
aren't
same
they?
issue. Oh,
Receiving
dear.
telemetry. Door opening.
You are upside down. Well, lovely. Alright, let me pop back in the ship and land and see if I can't get something better going on here. I do love these. I love flying top cover for, you know, when it works. Otherwise, it's, well... Frontier and Bethesda have many things in common. And now there's a Federal Corvette just hanging over the site.
Hello. You've reached Eli. Press 1 to power the engines, 2 for systems, 3 for weapons.
What a mess. Okay, there's Master 10 and his Imperial fighter. So pretty. So... it's like a barbell with engines on it. Alright, Alcors, what do you need? What do you and Omoon need? You may have to reset and just pop back into your ships. Federal Corvette, Imperial Fighter. This is the heart of being a mercenary.
Incoming transmission.
He has landed, could be an instancing issue, alright. Yeah, Alicors, I'm still seeing you as falling. You're at 153 kilometers and increasing. Straight down. You are making a beeline for the planet's core. Of course, it also says you're targeting a mining fragment. So it could very well be me. So I think I'm just gonna... I'm gonna shut it down, and I'll be right back on. Let me see if I can get that sorted out that way. Oh, Master 10. Okay. Then it looks like it is actually my connection. Alright, well, because Frontier is frontiering it up. We'll call it here. I'm going to keep helping these knuckleheads out. And we'll be back tomorrow. Usual time, usual place. Thank you all for coming out. Always nice to chat with people. Always nice to answer questions. Always nice to meet new folks. And thank you all for coming out and spending time with me. So, yeah. Yeah, just another good day in the Errantry Alliance. And besides, I'm going to be doing a lot more board flipping and kind of going into turbo mode on collecting these fragments. So, not exactly riveting content. Anyway,
Incoming
though.
transmission.
Yes, Master 10. That sounds like a good idea. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. And if you can't, fly safe. If you can't fly safe, fly dangerous. If you can't fly safe or fly dangerous,
we are incoming transmission.
Don't fly through a planet. It's bad for you. Let's see here. Who are we gonna host up? Who are we gonna raid? Who's on? And yeah, Jumpy, I will see you here in a very few minutes here. Who is running? Looks like Levandry Fan is out on right now, running Monster Hunter World, and I've been kind of curious about the game too, so that's what we're gonna do. Send some spaceship cows his way. Take care, everybody. Have a good one, and again, see you tomorrow, noon Pacific, or 1900 hours game time. Have a good one.